Hello, everybody. We've got another visual pattern challenge for you to think about. If you choose to accept this challenge, what you're going to try to do is figure out the pattern that's happening from step to step here. So here's step one, here's step two. And the first level of the challenge is to figure out how many of these, I guess I'm going to call them blocks, there are in step three. So how many in step three? And if you can, then predict how many in step 43, much more difficult. And if you can write an equation for it, you could predict any step. So that would be a further challenge level. So if you'd like to accept that challenge, pause the video, see how you do. All right, let's take a look at this pattern. It might seem like this one will be more difficult than others we've done because we only have 2 steps here. And usually we get 3 or sometimes more steps to look at. But we should still be able to gather information, enough information to see what changes from one step to the next, and then do that same change for step number 3. So when I look at this first shape, I notice this, I guess it's kind of like a table, right? There's this top that's made of 5 of these blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And then it's got 2 feet that are made of 2 blocks each. So 4 blocks for the feet, 5 blocks for the top. And when we move to step 2, the top is the same. It's still those 5 blocks, but the feet have grown by 1. So there's another layer of feet. So it looks like we added these 4 blocks. So I would expect in the next step, we would add 4 more blocks. So if we're going to predict how many blocks in step 3, there'd be 5 on the top, and then the 4 original feet blocks, and then 4 more from step 2, and then 4 more from step 3. So in total, that would be 5 plus 12, so that should be 17. That would be my prediction. We're going to figure out an equation for this, and we'll double check that. I think one useful thing to do is to keep track of all these numbers in a chart. So I'm going to put the step number and the number of blocks in a chart. And in this first one, we have 5 plus 4, that's 9. So step 1 has 9, and step 2 has 13. And we're saying step 3 has 17. I think that's right. And when you've arranged your data like this, you can look at the difference of number of blocks in each step number. The difference from 9 to 13, 13 minus 9 is 4. 17 minus 13 is 4. So we have this steady adding of 4 blocks. So this shouldn't be a surprise. We saw that we're adding 4 blocks in each step. When you have a rate of change that stays the same from step to step, it is a linear function, and we can use the equation for a line to model it. So y equals mx plus b. In this equation, the m stands for slope when you're graphing a line. In terms of these patterns, it stands for the rate of change between steps. So in this case, we go up by 4 every time, so we're going to have 4 times x. Then, and this plus b is the part of it that stays the same. So in our visual pattern, that's the tabletop. There's these extra 5 blocks. So I'm going to put a plus 5, and I'll show you how that works now. So where x goes, we'd plug in the step number. So, and y is going to give us the total number of blocks in each step. So y equals 4 times the step number, so 4 times 1, plus 5 on the top. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9, and that's what you get, 4 for the feet and 5 for the top. If we do that for step 2, y equals 4 times 2, that's this chunk, 4 times 2, plus 5 for the top, and that gives us 13, which is just what we had for step 2. Let's see if this is bearing out our prediction for step 3. So y equals 4 times step 3 plus 5. That'd be 12 plus 5. That'd be 17. Beautiful. So looks like all that checks out. So I'm pretty confident our formula, our equation is y equals 4x plus 5. Now we can use this to figure out how many would be in step 43 without having to draw all this in a whole bunch of times. So let's do that. We'll just plug in step 43 for x there, and then add 5. Now I've got to multiply 43 times 4. I'll do that in my head. 4 times 40 is 160, and 4 times 3 is 12. So that's 172 plus 5. So that's 177 blocks in step 43. How did it go? Did you get those answers? Let me know. Thanks, everybody.